Okay, so in this video, we're talking about how to edit big files with a slow computer. There's kind of a misconception out there that you need to have this really amazing fast computer in order to edit your footage, especially if you're shooting in 4K or 8K or 12K, that you need to have a computer that can run those files natively and run multiple streams of 4K or 8K at the same time. And, everybody's talking about that. Got to get this amazing fast computer. It's got to be incredible, and then so that you can edit quickly and go through things fast. I don't really subscribe to that idea because there's a way to create really amazing work even if you're working on a slow computer. And you can actually work with big files if you know how to use the tools. Because if you know how to use the tools that you have available to you in your NLE, you should be able to edit even big 4K or 8K files even if you have a slow computer. So I've got a project opened up here that was shot in 5K. We're editing on a 4K timeline, and I'm just going to kind of run you through how to work with this even if you're working on a slow computer. So as you can see in this timeline, if I hit play here, it takes a split second to start playing, and as the footage starts playing, it's going to start stuttering, so you can see kind of that stuttering starting to happen. That's because the computer and the software are just having a hard time keeping up with the footage. It's 5K, and it's just not running very well. And that's also considering like this is a pretty high-end computer, like a fairly expensive computer, so it's just really hard to get something that is so good that it's going to be able to run 5K even footage seamlessly like that. So the first thing you can do that's very easy in your software is you can just change the resolution of your playback. So right here, you'll notice that I have it set to full, which is why it's kind of running a little bit slow. I could set that to half resolution or quarter resolution, even 1/8 or 1/16 resolution. Now you'll notice if I put this all the way down, it's not going to change anything while your video is paused, so you can still see the frames, how they're supposed to look. But the moment that you press play, the quality of the footage is going to go down. Now, that's okay. For most situations, you can work with that. You can turn the resolution down. You can edit off of that, and that's great. Now, this is where it is nice to have a higher end computer so that you don't have to bring down that resolution so much, and you can just monitor your footage the way it was meant to be seen. Now, even if you don't have an expensive, fast computer, you can still get that same result by using what are called proxies. Now, a proxy is essentially a lower resolution, higher compressed, different format version of your footage that sits next to your media inside your file structure. And so with a proxy, what you can do is you can actually edit your entire video while looking at proxies, lower resolution footage, and then when you export the video, it exports it with the full resolution video. So the proxies and the full resolution original media are linked within your software so that you get the performance of editing with the proxies, and then you still get the quality of the export with the original files. So it's worth noting that some cameras, especially if you get into higher end camera systems, more expensive cameras, and especially cameras that shoot in RAW, sometimes will have an option to allow you to shoot and record proxies in camera along with your original media. So for example, this footage here from this shoot, we've got all of our red files here in each of these folders, and you'll notice that there's an R3D file, which is our red RAW file, and notice that that's 2.18 gigabytes. And this is not a very long clip, so that's a very large file for just a short snippet. And then right next to it, we've got an MOV file, which is a ProRes version of the exact same clip. And you'll notice that this ProRes more compressed. It is compressed, but ProRes is still, very high quality. But this version of the clip is only 679 megabytes, so it's less than half the size of the R3D. So as you can imagine, when you're working in your editing software, it's going to be a lot easier for that editing software to play back this MOV file and work with that than it is to work with the red RAW file. Now, if you're working on a camera like a DSLR or mirrorless camera or any of 99% of cameras that don't do this and record the proxies in camera with your original media, then there is a way to create proxies. So in here, we'll go into our project panel and we'll choose one of our clips. Normally what you do is select all of your video clips if you want to create proxies for all of them. I'm just going to do it for one of them just for the purposes of this video. And what you'll do is you'll right click on it, you'll go to proxy and click create proxies. This is going to bring up a box where it asks you what format you want to create the proxies in. And so you can choose either QuickTime or H.264 in this case. QuickTime is going to give me a ProRes, which is a higher resolution, higher quality proxy. H.264 is going to be like, what you would upload to the internet, what you would upload to YouTube. So it's going to be more compressed. Either one of those is going to work. If you are, if you've got a semi-decent machine, then you may want to use QuickTime so that you get the best quality on your timeline. If you've got something that's really slow, like you're working on a dinosaur, then you maybe want to do H.264 because that'll be even smaller. And so then all you need to do is select the format that you want to export it as, and then choose where you want it to go. I usually just choose next to original media in proxy folder, and then you hit OK. And that's going to open up Media Encoder, at least for Premiere Pro, and it's going to start creating those proxies and sending them to the right spot. Now, this process is probably a little bit different in Resolve and Final Cut, so I'll have to make separate videos showing you exactly how to do it in there, but it should be generally the same idea. All right, so now that that's done, let's go back over to our folder here, and you can see that for this clip, it has created a proxies folder inside of the clip folder, and that proxy has been added. And you'll notice that the file size is only 45.7 megabytes, which is going to be a lot easier to work with. Now, once you have all your proxies created for your footage, sometimes your software will actually attach the proxies automatically, and so then you don't have to do anything else. But just in case it doesn't, you can just select all of your footage, right-click on it, go back down to Proxy, and then click on Attach Proxies. Then it's going to bring up this window here that is very similar to the Link Media window, and you'll take your clips. So, for example, the first one is A14C3. I'm going to click on Attach. Again, make sure that Relink Others automatically is selected. I'll click on Attach here, and we'll find that proxy. So for A14C3, we've already got this MOV file here that we're using. I'm going to click OK on that, and it's going to go through and it's going to locate the proxies for all of the rest of your footage based on the file path of that one. Now we've got our proxies all attached to our full resolution footage, and we're ready to edit with it. In Premiere, all you have to do at this point is go up here and click on this Toggle Proxies button. Once you click that and it turns blue, that means you're monitoring the proxy right now. So notice as I press play here, it actually plays smoothly, no problems. And it even looks, well, let me turn the resolution up. But it even looks pretty good. So it's not stuttering at all, it's playing smoothly, and that's because we're monitoring the proxy file. The moment I turn that off though and hit play again, you'll notice that it starts stuttering a little bit. If you don't have this button right here, you can always click on the plus sign over here and you can grab it and select it out of this button editor and just drag it onto the toolbar here wherever you want. So now you're all ready and set up to start editing with your proxies. As you edit through the video, you'll be working with the proxies, which means your computer will be able to run faster, your software will run faster, everything will go smoother. And then when you export the final project, you don't have to do anything. It'll automatically choose the full resolution media and export using that so you get the highest quality in your export. So there you go. There's how to edit big files with a slow computer. Once again, don't buy into the hype that you have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a high-end computer so that you can run multiple streams of 4K or 8K. I think that, there are definitely situations where it's nice to have that. And as you grow and as you get more advanced, and you've got the budget for it, it is nice to have a higher powered computer just because in general things will run smoother. However, don't let that stop you if you're working on a laptop or a slower computer right now. You can still get by with that, even working with 4K or 8K footage, if you understand how to use the resolution, how to use the proxies properly so that you can get the work done that you need to do with the computer that you have.